The Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra is in the midst of a busy weekend, 3 concerts over the course of 4 days. Those concerts have a wide range of music, everything from the symphonic dances from West Side Story by Leonard Bernstein to Aram Khachaturian's violin concerto. You'll also hear overtures by Dvorak, Tchaikovsky, not to mention numerous waltzes by the Waltz King, Johann Strauss Jr. The star of all of these concerts is the Moldovan violinist Alexandra Conunova, who joins us on Classic 107. Hello there.
Hi.
Thank you so much for taking the time. First of all, you've been here in Winnipeg for the last few days working with the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra. What has this musical experience been like for you, rehearsing and performing alongside these musicians compared to others around the world that you share your artistry with?
Yeah, well, that has been really, really great and inspiring. We had yesterday our first orchestral recording, and the level of the orchestra is just great. I think they are a wonderful ensemble. I think this is also the result of a great artistic and musical work of their chief conductor, Daniel Raiskin, who's a wonderful artist and a musician. They are the orchestra are extremely attentive to what I'm doing musically. They are very much involved. They sound great. I mean, all the groups, be it strings or winds, percussion, they are so there. You know what I mean? Like they are really present, and I feel like this music making really brings us together. And I think this is the the aim of music is bringing people together. And I definitely get this feeling with this orchestra and with my new colleagues from the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra, and I'm very happy about it. Yeah.
So you mentioned that sort of camaraderie and that as all of you take on these pieces together, some of them may be less familiar than others. Something like Aram Khachaturian's violin concerto is not necessarily something that you hear every day. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about this concerto and what makes it stand out to you in the violin concerto repertoire.
Well, we were speaking with Maestro Raiskin yesterday about the program that is going to be performed. And I told him that this concerto by Aram Khachaturian, the Armenian composer, is so much about exteriorized emotion. It is so easy to grasp. I think many of the people in the public who are going to listen to it are going to find themselves in the music, their situation, their feelings. It is both dramatic, beautiful, sensitive, rough. It has all the elements actually of people, human nature. It is extremely, it's like film music, yeah, in a way. And of course, it was written and dedicated to one of the greatest violinists of the past century, David Oistrakh, and it is a legacy for violinists. It is also the first time for me that I'm playing this concerto, and being a Moldavian and being a very, let's say, patriotic Moldavian, I love our culture and, for example, our folk music, right, with all the melismatic and the colors. Of the Moldavian folk music, it is extremely alike Armenian folk music. And you can really hear in this concerto, in the first movement, in the third movement, all this harmonically passages that are characterizing the Armenian folk music, the tunes that you would hear, the popular songs. You can find them in the concerto, and they are quite easy to understand, right? So this kind of this thing that we say classical music is for the elite and stuff. I think in that particular concert, it is absolutely not the case, and I would really urge people to come and listen to it to see that classical music can be really cool and really beautiful and easy to understand and grasp.
So you mentioned that this is very easy music for people to grasp, but it is certainly also in elite hands when it comes to your solo violin performance. you touched on that this is your first time performing this concerto as well.
Yeah.
Maybe you can lift the curtain for the audience a little bit. What goes into the preparation for taking on a challenge like this, and what sorts of extra considerations maybe do you have as you perform alongside of an orchestra like the WSO as you're getting ready to share this for the first time?
Well, as an artist, of course, as a violinist, not you actually, when you start learning a piece, of course, you need to know a little bit about the background, where the composer comes from, what did he write in the same period as the concerto, and maybe listen to this music a little bit before if you didn't. And then, of course, listening to recordings by, as I told you, David Oistrach, whom this concerto was dedicated to, then by others, finding your own path and things you like or do not like about certain recordings. And then when you start working on it, really working with the score, so with the big part where you see not only your line, your music line, but also everything what your colleagues in the orchestra play, and see where you dialogue with, for example, the clarinet. There are a lot of dialogues between me and the clarinet, or between me and the oboe, or between me and the cello section, right? And then like adjusting my sound to their sound, like, like when the fagots, yeah, they play, they have a super low sound. And if I play with them a line, a musical theme, I cannot be vibrating too much, because this wouldn't, suit the, that wouldn't make us play a chamber music, but I would stand too much out, or the fagot would stay too much out. So these are things that come in consideration and that are super interesting. And for me, it is a very passionate work to get to discover actually the score and try to understand what the composer wanted to what idea he wanted to bring to life with putting that instrument after the other, or vice versa. And imagining, also imagination plays a huge role, like for example in the second movement, you can really like hear themes from Spartacus. You can hear film music. You can imagine for yourself that maybe this musical line is a song that was sang by a woman, or maybe by a choir of girls. Or so you really let your imagination flow and flourish, and then bring it to the public. And I am absolutely convinced that when an artist on stage is sincere, the public really feels it, and gets a feeling that it is a part of the happening on stage. Yeah.
It's really fun to hear about all these different sorts of partnerships that you have in between musical instrument families. You talk about a couple of times there your relationship with the bassoon, for example, as you go across the movements of the concerto. Another element of this, of course, is the fact that the concerto is paired with another piece very much influenced by film music, I think, the symphonic dances from West Side Story. How do you think that that pairing of repertoire brings the best out of each of the pieces on the program?
Well, I think Daniel Reiskin is just a fantastic like puzzle making together, bringing of programs. And I think that pairing Tchaikovsky's Romeo or Juliet with Khachaturian concerto and then the West Side Story is a really a firework of emotions for all different tastes, really. I think the character and the let's say dramaturgical line, the musical idea of pairing these pieces together is very easy to sense there. And you really, when you see the program, you know what you are kind of, going to you know what you are gonna get from that concerto. I would go to such a concert. I would know that I would get a fantastic, uplifting, and super lively experience from the evening. I would definitely buy tickets.
Well, you also have this other concert that is almost a completely different program in some regards, that takes place on Saturday afternoon. Music of the Waltz King, Johann Strauss Jr., paired alongside some other dances from Pyotr Ilyich Tchaikovsky's Eugene Onegin, for example, and of course sharing the Meditation from Jules Massenet's Thais.
Mm.
How, when it comes to the endurance for these kinds of programs, what sorts of things do you do as an artist to ensure that you're able to perform at your peak throughout such a wide range of repertoire over the course of the weekend? Yeah, you.
Well, I mean, I'm only playing three pieces. Well, they are, I mean, the Zigona Weisen, yeah, Sarasate, and then the Meditation by Thais, like you told, and then the Waltzer alla Paganini. Of course, this program may seem like easy and cheerful, but still it requires very serious preparation. And as for each concert, you need to really organize your time, prepare in advance and take it seriously. I think we musicians, I see myself as a missionary. I see myself as, serving music, serving people, as a servant to the people, let's say, through music. So it is my duty to be okay. It is my duty to, organize my work and always be on top of my abilities. Maybe this is not always possible, but at least I'm doing my best to be in great form. And this comes, of course, with experience and with time and understanding your, abilities, your strong and less strong sides and qualities. And I mean, I'm very happy always when I go on stage. So for me, playing a lot of repertoire is less of a problem than, for example, jet lag,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Well, so then we talk about the relationship between pieces within your concert, the Khachaturian and Bernstein. How does performing this concert of somewhat lighter fare, the Zigona Weisen, for instance, or the Meditation, how does that inform what you do in these bigger lifts like the Khachaturian violin concerto?
I don't think I understood your question.
Well, as you perform on Saturday, these lighter sorts of
Yeah.
pieces, what do you take away from
Yeah.
those kind of performances into these bigger repertoire lifts like the
Oh,
Khachaturian and these other bigger works?
well, for me, there is not really, I would say that if I start thinking that this is lighter or this is like easier programs to play, then also my, like my, how to explain this? The way I think about the things I play is always serious, be it lighter repertoire or not. I think the lighter the repertoire, the easier to listen or to play, the more serious I need to be. Not taking it for
Yeah.
granted or saying, oh yeah, this I already played, so I would concentrate on Khachaturian. I think for me, every concert is as serious as the other. There are no such thing as something easier. Of course, it is maybe a little bit more fun in a way where I am maybe a little bit less concerned, but I know from experience that the moment I think like that, something happens. So,
Yes.
I keep it
Yep.
concentrated. Yeah.
Okay. So much to concentrate on and so much to be excited for with Alexandra Conunova and the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra. Strauss Dances and Dreams taking place Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock at the Centennial Concert Hall. And then on Sunday at 2, it's Passion and Drama. All the best for this weekend's performances, Alexandra. And thank you so much for joining us both here in Winnipeg and on Classic 107.
Thank you for the invitation and all the best.